Okay, guys and girls, I appreciate you all jumping in, taking the time out on a Wednesday evening to come onto this call. This is something that I've been wanting to do for the longest of time, bring back the Wednesday calls and get you guys, up there with the mindset, the trading knowledge, the information, everything that you need to know when it comes to this space. So for those of you who don't know me, you've never seen me before, my name is Bradley Marchant, and on every single Wednesday, we host these calls where we can jump on, we can take information live, we can go through everything to do with the financial markets, and more importantly, help you guys get to a position with this where you can start to make some insane money trading. So in the last 24 hours, we've seen some absolute madness when it comes to, the markets themselves. Obviously, Donald Trump gets elected and Kamala Harris takes a big L within the presidency run. And that's something that for all of you guys out there that are new to this, that are just getting started, you should be incredibly excited about, because what that will allow to do is bring stability back into the market. It will allow, the consistent action to start coming back in from a price action perspective when it comes to trading. So if you're new here, just do me a favor. Just drop in the chat if you're one, if you're new, two, if you've been here for a minute. So ones or twos. And again, as I always say in these calls, closed mouths don't get fed. So make sure that you're talking in here, because I want to know who I'm talking to when I do these calls, so I can see plenty of ones, plenty of twos. So we've got a good mix. So tonight's call is going to be really good because there's going to be very little screen share. I'm not really going to be going over anything on the charts too technical. Tonight is going to be heavily focused around the mindset, the psychology, and also showing you the new systems and everything that we've got set up that are going to enable you guys to come into this and excel and grow at speed. So again, inside this opportunity, what you actually have access to is, number one, the Telegram community. In there, we send out 2, 3, 4, 5 trades per day. On average, they're typically around an 85 to 90% success rate. Again, we can't win them all. We're not going to get all of the results, but again, we're here to provide as best we can. The wizard, as you know him, has been getting some insane results. Are we going to take some L's? Absolutely. And that's what I'm going to cover a little bit further on this call, because once we get the win rate going, what happens is naturally the confidence increases. We start to build that extra armor, that extra layer, and the lot sizes start to increase. The gambling mentality starts to increase. Everything around that starts to, go up a notch and start to go to that next level. And that's something that, myself personally, having been in the mindset space for almost a decade, is something that I really want to teach you guys that are in here. And that's another reason why I'm starting to do these calls as I am in my studio here in Marbella, is because I want the quality of these calls to be taken up a notch. I'm not sat on my sofa anymore. I'm in my studio, which is in the heart of Port Banús in Marbella. And I want to get this to a point where the school community, more importantly, is absolutely flying. Like, I've got probably 40 or 50 videos over the next week that I'm going to record from an A to Z perspective, in depth chart analysis, taking you guys through everything, so that by the end of that, you can refer someone in for absolutely free, no cost, no setup fee, no monthlies. And you can get to a point with this where you're monetizing and earning things within inside the community. Again, I'm not taking no money out of your pocket from a fee basis. Everything that you have is 100% in your control, in Vantage. And that takes me then onto the school community. The school community is something that I set up, having background in the network marketing space. I saw the need for education. I saw the need for you guys to come into this, to learn, to grow, to adapt, to get better. And you can't do that by watching sporadic YouTube videos. I don't believe anyway. Can you make money and can you learn the basics? 100%. But what I want to do is teach you the ways that I've got to a point where I'm earning full-time income in this space, because this hasn't just happened overnight. I've been doing this since 2017, late 2017. So we've been here a minute. So these groups that are set up, I really want to share with you to help you guys get to that next level, to start to earn an amazing income and grow with us. And then that takes me on to so we've got the Telegram, we've got the school, and then off the back of that, we've obviously launched the copier. Again, for those of you who are watching this, I'm not a financial advisor. Past profits do not guarantee future results. And I cannot turn £5 into 5 million in the next 12 days. I'm really, really sorry for anyone who's come on this call that's wanting to become a multi-trillionaire in the next 6 days because Trump has become president. That's not going to happen. But what I am going to do is teach you how to manage that emotion, because a lot of people want to come into this. They want to trade on demo. They want to come into this and all see how it goes. When you see how it goes, the only thing that's going is you, because you come in and you'll demo trade for a long, long time. You'll build that false sense of almost like income, if you will. And it gets to a point where you transition that over to live accounts, and the mindset and the psychology that you have off the back of that is washed because you lose trades and you didn't realize how attached you were to £3.60, £4.20. You know, what I want you guys to do is go into this chat right now. And I really want you to share with me what you're struggling with, what the biggest errors are that you're finding, what's the biggest hurdle that you're struggling to overcome when it comes to trading. And what we'll do in these next 25, 30 minutes, I'm going to smash out as many as I can and cover as much as we can, because what I want to do on these calls is build your mindset to a point where it's not just armor based. I'm talking like you're on next level frequency, everything like that. And the losses just almost wash off your back, if you will. Too many people let stop losses ruin their day, their week, their month, and their bank account. Like, as I said, from the day dot when all of you got involved in this, I want you to become professional withdrawers, not professional depositors. How many of you in here have blown your account? You know, you've loaded it again. You've blown your account. You've loaded it again. You've placed a trade. You knew you shouldn't have placed it. You've not put a stop loss on. You should have put a stop loss on. All of this stuff, every single trader out there is doing. And that is why 96% of the population lose when it comes to trading. Because we can send out the same signal, the same trade, the same educational idea, whatever you want to class it as. And if your mindset is not on point, you will lose, because you will over leverage, you'll over trade, you'll try and get in too many times, you won't take profit because £3.80 wasn't enough when you could have made £4.50. £45 wasn't enough when you could have made £70. So we all have that mindset there where we're looking for something, because let's be honest, you guys aren't here to not make money. Any of you guys that have a gambling mentality and you're here just to chuck money around, I will send you my PayPal link. Just send that whenever you want. Whenever you feel like having a little splurge and you feel like a little casino or roulette spin, listen, my PayPal link is there. I'll go downstairs, I'll grab some sushi, and I will put it to good use, right? Anytime you feel like that, I'm okay with it. So there's a lot of people in here saying about price going to TP3, TP4, stop losses, this, that, you know, that is normal in trading. You cannot have, and I shared this before, my worst days, I had 19 days back to back of stop losses. And I'm not going to start saying here that I felt good about that, because I didn't. It was terrible. But when you look at the results that we're having, if you look at the amount of times that it goes to take profit one, take profit two, take profit one, take profit two, but you're aiming up here, right? You're going for TP3, you're going for TP4, you're going for the home run, the slam dunk. Yes, it is still a viable trade, but then it goes and comes back down and hits you at break even. It goes, comes back down, you at break even. Goes, stop loss, right? Because you were too greedy and you didn't take profits. My biggest saying within the financial markets is you cannot go broke taking profits. So if you're the person who's consistently looking at MetaTrader 4 on your phone all day, every day, and you're in a position where you're starting to doubt, starting to panic, starting to worry, you're seeing your account come back, swipe across, click on the tick, close it. Take the profits off of the trade, because then it will breed that mentality that, right, you know, TP1 and TP2, they're maybe the go-to. So I might go for in between that next time. I might go for TP2. And then as you get used to using TradingView, and again, this is something that I'm going to teach with inside the series, because this for me was a game changer. Imagine you're out walking, you're with the kids, you're having your dinner, and you get a notification showing that it's hit here and take profits here. You might get a notification on your phone. We're all addicted to this. This is in our hands all day, every day. We're getting notifications from every other app. So you get a little notification from TradingView that says the trade has hit this level. You can go in onto your MetaTrader 4, adjust your stop loss well above entry, change take profit 2 to take profit 3. Then you do the same on TradingView, change the level. So then you're in a mindset then of aiming for take profit 2. You're happy with it if it hits because it's taken profit. But if it starts running and if you think, oh, I might be able to get a little bit more out of this, you can then change that level to TP3, to TP4, because we've been in trades that have gone 200, 300, 400, 500 pips, 600 pips. Today did 1,000, right? Yes, we didn't call out any trades today as such, Because, for me, when it comes to that, I'd rather preserve your capital. I'd rather protect your income. I saw some groups out there doing 10, 11, 12 stop losses back to back because they were trying to catch the top, catch the bottom. It's like catching a falling knife. You're never going to be able to get the exact moment in trading. And this is why, for me, I have the 80-20 rule. 80% of the trade I would rather catch, 20% of it I'll miss, happily. So the 10% at the top, I will happily let that 10% go before trying to catch the peak of the market. Just drop me a 1 in the chat if this is making sense so far, right? So out of 100% of the move, I would rather miss the top 10%, catch 80%, and leave the bottom 10%. I don't want to get out at the exact top and the exact bottom because then I'm a master trader and then, someone's coming for me. I'm getting 100% win rate at that point, right? Someone's knocking on my door saying, listen, how are you doing this? I would rather catch 80% of the move. And if this 10% ends up being another 3,000%, listen, I got my money, I got the bag, I got out. So many of us are trying to hit that home run all day, every day when it comes to trading, and we're missing the actual vital parts of the move. So when it comes to you guys taking profit, again, you can't go broke taking profits. Some people have mentioned about leaving trades open overnight. What do you do with that? I don't. For me personally, I do not leave trades overnight because between the 10 and 11 p.m. gap, there is spread, and I do not like what can happen in that time. For me personally, I don't like going to bed stressed, anxious, worried, nervous. For me personally, I live a very stress-free life. For those of you who speak to me on a very day-to-day basis, you will see I'm very manana. Like, I'll do things tomorrow, I'll do things later. But I've also got my business head screwed on where anything that causes me stress, worry, anxiety, nervousness, I do not touch that. Like, how many of you in here, like, be honest, leave your trades open without stop losses, you go to bed with them, and it's all you can think about while you're winding down. It's all you look at the first thing on the morning. If that's the case, like, you might as well literally just mess up your body and start putting acid in it. Like, our body is it thrives in an alkaline-based state. When you put things into it, such as Monster, such as shit food, it performs shit, right? If you have a Lamborghini that gets the wrong fuel, the wrong diesel in it, whatever it is, it will perform negatively. So again, look at us. We're exactly the same. We're a form of how we think, how we speak, how we are as persons. So if we're looking at everything on a day-to-day basis and that's how we are, that's what we're doing, then don't be surprised when you get more of that. I have so many of you messaging support telling me that you're worried about this trade. You're worried about this. I'm £42 up, but what if news comes out at 2 and does this? Close the fucking trade, right? If you're worried, nervous, anxious, and it's causing you like a stress, get rid of it. I would rather be in and out of a market, no stress, no worries. I look, I'm like, oh, profit, done, nice, yay, win. But if you have that person around you where you're worrying all the time, it's like having a negative friend. I'm sure you guys have got it where you've got that one person who, no matter when you're with them, they chat shit, they make you pissed off, and they make you think, man, I wish I hadn't come for a coffee, right? We all have that person around us. The hardest thing to do is detach that because it's an emotional behavior. It's a psychological behavior that we've trained ourselves to become a pattern and accustomed to. So if you can start to see the things that annoy you, see the things that piss you off, see the things that make you lose money, then you're the only person as to why that is happening over and over again. Because the win rate that we have with inside the community is good. Like, drop me a 1 right now if the percentage win rate that we've got with inside the community is suffice. It's good enough. It's doing well, right? 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, right? You guys are making profit. However, we have 3 stop losses back to back. Let me repeat this. Back to back. Very rarely does this happen. Back to back stop losses. And some of you guys in here are blowing accounts. That's 33% risk per trade. 33. For those of you who know, I am not one of them 1%ers. I don't risk 1% per trade. I'm a 5 to 7, 5 to 8%. I only risk what I can afford to lose. But for some of you, you're risking what you can't afford to lose. And then you're getting pissed off with the outcome when you're the one blowing the account, not the trades. Because theoretically, you should be 6% down, maybe 9% down. Fuck it. If you're doing 5%, you're 15% down. It's recoverable. But a lot of you're playing for the win because you're looking at your current bank account and where it is, the amount of money that you've got, the results that you're getting. And that is driving the emotions. That's driving how you think. It's driving how you speak. It's driving everything about you. And then that is the outcome that you're going to get because that's how you're thinking. If you would have seen the results that I were getting this time last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, it's all a literal version of you. So if you're just aiming for TP1, TP2, and you're happy with it, that is what I would personally be doing. And then as you get better, as you get more consistent, as you get more growth, as you grow as an individual, and again, it might require you journaling. Again, I've got this behind me, whichever side it's on. How many of you have honestly read this book from open to cover, like cover to cover? Honestly, not missed a page. You've read it 100%. Right? I've been banging on about this book for months. Not one person has put yes in the chat. Some of you have been here 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Some of you have been with me for 6 years. You've still not read it. Right? Some of you have read it a few times. Okay, you're the 1%, the 2%. That's what I like to see. I was waiting for this. It took some of you a minute to write that. I was like, shit, like we've got 74, 73 people on this call. Some of them haven't done it. It's called Trading in the Zone by Mark Douglas. Again, get this book. If you're religious, make this your Bible for a little minute, right? Make this the thing that you read on the morning, you read on the night, and you make it something that you study. The first 19 pages tells you why you are how you are as a trader. If you don't believe me, go buy the book, go reread it, and it will tell you over and over again. Because if you don't understand your own psychology as a person, and this is why I love how your mindset is. And a lot of you say, well, Bradley, why do you talk about mindset on these calls over and over again? Bob Proctor did the same thing for 50 odd years, 60 years. I went to every event. He did the same thing, every event, every quarter, every year. Why? Because most of you do not take action. You don't do the work. You don't work on yourselves. So then the next time you come, you've got to hear it again. But you might hear it a little bit more leveled up. The next time you come, you're a little bit more leveled up. Eventually, you will hear it in a completely different light that resonates with you. It took me 9 years. 9 years of going to his events, listening to him online, reading Think and Grow Rich, studying his principles of how he works as a person. And one thing that I love about us as individuals, and this is something to take away and put into the kind of trading world, you can cut off my arms, my legs, my toes, anything you want. And you can tell to the molecular structure why I move my hands how I do, why my eyes move how they move. But you cannot tell me why I think how I think. You can't. So if we understand that we're an actual product of our own thoughts and how we speak, you will start to pay attention to that. So if you're thinking, man, I've got no money, man, all my trades lose. Yeah, they do. And it will keep doing that until the amount of money hurts. As I said to you, I've blown £500,000 account, £2,000 account, £5,000 account. Didn't bother me because money was there. That £500 account got taken to 2,000, 7,000, 15,000, 18,000, 26,000, 46,200 and something. That's the amount that hurt. Losing that in 2 hours was the worst feeling I've had. So some of you right now that are feeling that pain, that have had an amount of money that's wiped out of your account, that needed to happen. Because if not, your life would have increased, your lifestyle would have increased, your extra spending money would have increased, and you would have eventually got to a point where it's 50K. Like, I'm so grateful that it happened to me years and years and years ago with 46,000, and it isn't today. Because if I had that realization today with the lifestyle that I have, the income that I've got coming in, and the stuff that I'm doing here in Marbella, man, I'd be wiped out for a long time. Because the psychology of that, I hadn't learned. So it had to hit me. So some of you in here are actually putting in here that it resonates with you. Okay? So again, take some of these stuff that we talk about on these calls, that start applying it. Start putting it into practice. Start becoming that next version of you. If you guys came to my house, it's like a fucking shrine. I've just moved into a beautiful, like literally, I've had this place on my dream board since I moved to Marbella 13 months ago. The exact location, the exact property, where it is in proportion to the beach, to the gym, to this. I know some of you might be looking like, Bradley, you don't go to the gym that much. Correct. I move closer so we can start to at least walk past it every now and again, you know? But getting into this is what will get you to that point where you become a next level person, a next level business person. And you can apply every single element of this to your life. 5% of trading is going on to fucking MetaTrader and pressing buy or sell, putting a stop loss and a take profit in place. That is it. The other 95% is you. And that's why I have absolutely zero sympathy when you come to me with a blown account. Because it will continue to happen to you over and over again until. And that until will come. I'm telling you right now, if you haven't blown an account, you've been marginally close and it's give you a and you've woke up and thought, fuck, I can't do that again. And you've spent the next month, 2 months, 3 months clawing back. You finally get to it and you're like, thanks. Right? And that's why I love jumping on these calls and going through it. And like people are asking me, like, what did I do wrong? What did I have, issue-wise? I hadn't addressed the old versions of me. I have an addictive personality. For those of you who get to know me, I'm highly ADHD. I've got an addictive personality. At one point, I was running like 11 businesses, trying to spin them all. They all were great concepts, none of them making money. Everyone was like, man, this guy's always doing shit. I'm like, yeah, I've got a new business idea every day. I'm in the shower, I have 3. I have to tell Siri to do bits, So if you're here right now and you're not addressing the younger versions of you, and I've shared this on a call and I'm going to share it again. The reason that I had the financial worries about money that I did was because growing up, my granddad was a gambling addict. He won the lottery or the pools, whatever it was classed as back then. He won 15,000 great British pounds. He could have bought a property that was 16,000. It's now worth 2.8 million in Leeds. However, he was a gambling addict. So write in the chat what you think he did. What's the logical part of this here? 15 grand, you need 1,000. What do you do? Write in the chat. Like, what do you actually think? I want engagement on this stuff. I want you guys to do. All right. Mary's first thing is gamble, right? Wonder what's the logical thing? Not what did he do? What's the logical thing here to do? Right? Borrow it, get a fucking loan, get a mortgage, do something with it is the actual right answer. If you want to buy a property for 16,000 and you've got 15, borrow it, get a fucking loan, get a mortgage. Oh no. My granddad took 15 £1,000 rolls in elastic bands straight from the post office. The same evening, roulette, red split 0-3. Red split 0-3. 15 times in a row. For those of you who know roulette, it's statistically the worst odds on the board. The worst odds, just to let you know. Every single penny. His life changed like that. He then went to work for a cleaning company. The car that he had at the time, the owner of that, which was worth 214 million, had just bought. My granddad had a car from a business that he'd done really well on, changed his life. He'd become a gambling addict. And then every single time he used to come around to my house, guess what he'd talk about to my mum? Having no money, lack of it. So guess whose little brain heard that at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to being 12? Your brain's a sponge. So you will have things and versions of you from years and years and years ago that you've not addressed, that you've not even thought about yet, that you've not spoken about, that you could do with start journaling. You could do with start talking about, because that is the stuff there that will start to unlock. If any of you guys have ever been to therapy, they let you talk, right? They will let you, what's wrong? Yada, 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 yada. Well, how did that make you feel? Yada, 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 yada. Before you know it, you're telling them everything. I used to go to therapy once a week. Used to love it. Someone would just sit there, shut up, and I'd just be able to talk for an hour. Right? Never got to the nuts and bolts until emotions kicked in. Right? And this is where, again, with trading, it's an emotional journey. It's such a psychological warfare against yourself because you're not in control of it all the time. There's things, patterns, previously behaviors that you've been going through that have got you to the position that you are in right now. And that's why on these calls, we've done 25 minutes. For me, to dig into anything else right now and start going deeper, I don't think it's needed. Because some of you on this call, that's all you needed to hear tonight. If I start going into chart breakdowns, showing you support and resistance, showing you why a pip does this and why a move does this and yada, 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 it's not going to work. So when I say to you guys on these calls, like, whatever you need, let me know. I can teach you the far end of anything when it comes to mindset, psychology. I'm learning every single day from my side. Trading wise, I'm going back through old boot camps, old content, old things that I used to do. The events on the 23rd in Leeds, like out of you 75 on this call, how many is coming to that event in Leeds? Like, just let me know in the chat. Because if you're within a couple of hours drive to Leeds, I would highly recommend that you're at that event. Like, imagine this, but in person, more in depth, going deeper into it, more deeper into how we think, the trading psychology, wrapping it all together. So eventually in a 3-4 hour event, 5-hour event, you can come away with something that truly impacts you. Most people will plan to go away for a weekend. You'll plan to go to a festival. You'll plan a holiday, but you don't plan getting to that next level. You don't plan growing. You don't plan getting to, the next level of you from a financial and emotional level. So that's the type of stuff that I want to do. And again, everything that I put out from my side is free. There is zero costs to get started. The school costs you nothing. The weekly calls, nothing. The Telegram group, nothing. So this stuff on here, if you start telling me what you want to learn more on, I will go deep into that as much as need be till it gets to a point where that is your aha moment. Some of you saying there, I've just read someone's message about having a newborn baby. For me personally, I'm good with that. Come along. As long as if the little one starts crying, you've got the decency to just get up and like, back in a second, let the little one cry a little bit, come back in. I've had that at events where people haven't done that. So that's where typically I have a no kids policy. If it's a little one and you have to be there because of that, listen, that to me shows commitment. I would rather that be the case. But if you bring in the 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old for daycare, this is not the event for it. Okay. And that might seem a little bit harsh, a little bit rude, but it's dog eat dog, cutthroat world out there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to share with you my screen real quick, just to show you the end of this. And actually go through like some of the stuff that we've got in place right now. For those of you out there that are new to this, you've never seen this before, let me just make sure I can share my screen effectively onto here. So again, right, we're good to go. Google Chrome, done. So this is the back end of the new system that we've set up. So getstarted.traderskingdomfx.com. You can send this to someone who wants more information, who wants to know how to get started. I break down on here in 7 minutes exactly what I've just shared with you on here about what we offer, what we do, and everything like that. I've just created and finished a 3-step process. So for those of you who have got started already, but you're wondering, how do I set up Vantage? How do I set up MetaTrader 4? How do I link to the copier? Fantastic. Here it is. 2 to 3 minute videos on how to set up Vantage, 2 to 3 minute videos on how to, copy the trades that are sent out inside the community, how to set up to the copier. Again, we're not here giving financial advice. This is purely for educational purposes. And again, the link to the school community is here as well. So this is for every single person who can go through this, who wants to learn, and then this is a school. Okay. So you can literally go through these systems, get access to everything. And then this here for us is just allowing it so that we can help you on the back end. Because what I want to do is I want to eventually get this to a point where I can send you a text message and be like, hey guys, there's a call tonight at 8 p.m. on text. Not me messaging you on Facebook, not me messaging you on school or wherever it is you're right now. I want to be able to send you a text or a WhatsApp, and it's not going to be spammy. It's just exactly what you see within the community. Tonight, 8 p.m., here's the link. We're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about trading. We're going to talk about support and resistance. We're going to talk about trend lines, all that other stuff. So literally all of you guys that are in here right now that are going through this journey, that are wanting to learn, I'm at a point with this where I feel 100% comfortable sharing this with every single person that I come into contact with. So that's why right now, all of this is getting built because I'm ready in a position to start ramping this up. Because when we start doing events, that's it. The foot's on the gas. I'll eventually be doing it in Leeds, Liverpool, Manchester, London, Nottingham. I'll then be doing ones over here in Marbella. So for you guys who do want a little travel, you do want a little trip, you want to start getting in the sun a little bit more, then it's a couple of days. I'm not going to do it in the peak of summer where the flights are expensive, where the hotel costs are expensive. It'll be out of summer, probably winter time, February, March, April, when the flights are decent. The cost for a place here is decent. For you guys who know each other, you can fly out here together, get a nice room, get a nice villa, and that point there, you can come out. Someone's already got a place in Mijas, great, beautiful area. Again, go to that, drive into where we are doing the events. So for me, guys, this is always open. And I say this on every call. For those of you who are struggling, you want to know more, or you're in a position right now where you're ready to get started and you're like, man, I don't know how to level up. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. Drop me a message and just be like, look, this is what I'm struggling with. I can be in here all day, every day. It's 9:30 over here now? I've got the fucking keys, right? Literally, I've got the guy who does all the technician work here for us. He does all the copyright for us. He's sat here all day, every day anyway. He's sat there right now, like, just thinking, like, fucking hell, this is sick. But I want you guys to understand that as we go through this, we're going to help you grow. We're going to help you get to that next level. So any questions that you have, anything you need to know, anything you're struggling with, everything can be answered through a message, through WhatsApp, through whatever it is. But closed mouths don't get fed. I'm going to start putting all of this stuff onto YouTube. I'm going to start breaking it down even more and start going into a lot more deeper content on why people win and why people lose within trading. So, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. But again, I appreciate every single one of you for taking the time out on a Wednesday evening to jump into this. And some of you were like, Bradley, there was no trading stuff. Like, I didn't learn about X. I didn't learn about like stop losses and like, how do I place a trade? That's why we've got the systems there. Some of the stuff that we teach on here, 95% of why we win and lose is mindset based, psychology based. It's why we think, it's how we think, everything like that. So guys and gals, I appreciate every single one of you for taking the time out, jumping in. If you've got any questions, anything like that, drop me a message, do whatever you need to do. I'm going to upload this into school. I'm going to also, in fact, this will be a test actually. There's 68 of you on the call still. I'm going to upload this onto YouTube. It's been a minute since I've put some fresh content on there. When I upload it, I want you guys to keep refreshing YouTube. And I want you to go on there and just like and comment. That's all I'm asking you to do. Just like and comment. If you got value from this call, if you enjoyed it, if you got some good sauce out of it, just go onto YouTube and type in Bradley March and you'll see a few things on there about trading, about mindset, all that other stuff. I think about 600 subs. But I appreciate you all jumping on. I'm going to end the call there. I'm going to smash this Fanta in and I'm going to go get some sushi. I appreciate you all. Have a blessed evening. Good night. Bye-bye.